Welcome to Inside Lake Forest. I'm Eileen, your host, and today I'm visiting with Chief's Pub. I have the pleasure of meeting Chuck Neasley, who's the owner. We're going to learn all about this firehouse-themed pub. Let's step inside. Hi, Chuck.
Eileen, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Is my,
so good to
my
see
little
you.
thing on here for my voice recorder? Is it on?
Yeah, you're on. You are on.
Nice to see you. What's going on?
You too. I'd love to hear all about this restaurant and bar. I mean, you've put so much into it, and you have a lot of life history that's in here as well. So let's start. Chuck, first, where are you a resident? Lake Forest, Lake Bluff, Knollwood?
I live in Wadsworth.
Okay.
I grew up in Knollwood, Lake Bluff area. Went to Lake Bluff Middle School, Lake Forest High School and stuff. And
Great.
here's where we ended up, obviously.
And here's where you are. And tell me about your history with the Knollwood Fire Department.
Well, I got involved through my father, who was there with some friends of his and stuff like that. We moved to Knollwood back in the mid-50s, actually.
Okay.
So I ended up, my dad joined the fire department, and then when I turned 16, I joined too. They had a cadet program there, so I signed up too. And I stayed there pretty much a little over 30 years.
Okay, so that was a real inspiration for you in terms of a lot of the decor here. Now tell me, the restaurant itself opened October 31st, 2007.
Yes.
And what was your inspiration for that?
Well, as far as opening up that night, it was Halloween, and I figured I could remember it easier if I did it on a Halloween night.
Absolutely.
Just kidding, but no.
It was a great night.
It was a good night. It was packed. During the remodeling process, when we started building the build out, we left the front door open so people would come in on a daily basis to check it out. We let people come in and see what was going on. And as the time got closer, everybody got more excited about it. So the night we opened up, I think we ran a little over 800 people through here.
Fantastic.
And it was packed. It was a busy house.
So why Lake Forest? Why a bar, sports bar here in town?
I felt a need for it. My son really persuaded me to do it here also. I've wanted to do it since I was in my early 20s. I used to bartend in Highwood. My dad had a restaurant in Knollwood, used to be called Grandpa's.
Okay.
And I worked there for a while, but I wanted to do it here. I felt there was a need for it.
And you have all the family involved here also?
My son and my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the kids are here also?
Yes.
With a team?
Joe bartends, and Sarah helps out every once in a while. They're both firefighters, so they're on duty every third day, obviously. And
Okay.
they come in and help when they can, or they come in and at least eat the food, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Chuck, let's take a little tour around.
Okay.
And I'd love for you to point out, we've got, like I said, there's so much in here to see. Maybe you can pick out some of your favorites and tell me where it came from.
Oh, God, okay. Well, I guess we start right here.
Great.
Is that okay? This is gear from Chicago Fire Department. It dates back to roughly the 1940s, some of this equipment, like the old air pack. That was, it's a non-rebreather. They didn't have oxygen back then or air in tanks. So that came off of Tower 30 in Chicago. It was given to me by a Chicago fireman named Louis Kafer.
Okay.
And he lived in Lake Bluff, and he had it from when he was a truckie down there. They used to call them truckies.
Neat.
His sons come in here and stuff like that, and they visit the place every once in a while, and they like to see that because their dad owned that, obviously.
Very cool.
And this is gear. The other air pack here, this one up here is from Chicago also. I used to wear that when I used to ride down there. A couple years ago, I used to ride with the Chicago Fire Department on the south side, and it's a real experience to ride with those guys. And you talk about busy, it's where it's at.
Yeah, definitely. And how about these beautiful murals here? Let's take a walk over and check those out.
And what I did here is I hired two local artists, Patty and Sam, and they came in, and what they did is these are all Chicago, there are 3 Fire Chicago houses downtown, and they went and took pictures of them and stuff, and they came back, and this is what they ended up with. These stations are all right around 100 years old, and they're still active down there too. They're still running today. So this is a Knollwood Chiefs car. I never got a Chiefs car when I was a chief at Knollwood, so we decided we'd paint one in there, and
neat.
And that's what that's all about. This is Engine Company 122 on the south side. It's down in the Chatham area, Inglewood area. And that's where I used to ride down there a couple of years ago. 3 years ago, actually. My best friend's a captain down there, and he was assigned to this engine company. This engine ran, they averaged probably about 20 runs a day, this engine.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very busy engine company.
Wow.
Then obviously, we're in Lake Forest, so we put the Lake Forest engine on here. And I got a lot of friends over there at the fire department, and they're a great bunch of guys, and they're really good at what they do also here in town.
Well, I love too, Chuck, just to point out, like on the lamppost, the detail here, the city of Lake Forest. And then there was something like the telegraph station, like key box here. It's just a lot of really neat details that the artists were able to pull and really to tie in with the community here.
And it's all real. You still see some of these things downtown too. Like you see the red and the green light. A lot of people don't understand what that means, but the green on the left stands for, the green on the right side, stands for starboard side.
Okay.
The Chicago Fire Department came up with a lot of these things. It would, green side would be starboard side, go on the right side of the engine, obviously. They came up with the mailing system downtown Chicago, numbering system that you see in the city. That was invented by the Chicago Fire Department.
Oh, very neat.
Yeah, they've done a lot of things. The towers, you see them as large towers that shoot the booms in the air, that spray water. That was invented by the Chicago Fire Department. So,
oh, neat.
Yeah, Commissioner Quinn down there back in the early 1900s did all that.
A lot of history.
Oh, absolutely. It's tradition too, and that's what I've liked so much about the fire service. At Knollwood, one of the things we did there, and it's not a big accomplishment, but we changed all our engines to black over red.
Okay.
And our squads and stuff. And the guy, I had a lot of support from the men to do this. And as you can see them, when they come here to Lake Forest for a mutual aid to help them on a fire, you'll see them. And Lake Forest, I recently switched over too.
Yeah.
As you get new engines, that's when you do this. You don't still go out and spend the money to have them change. You do it as you buy new rigs or get paint jobs and stuff like that.
Well, Chuck, would you consider this portion of the restaurant here kind of the more family crowd dining area?
Yeah, we
separated a little bit from the bar.
We used to mix it up, but we found this is much better for the kids. You know, we separate the bar patrons from the children, and you know, it's a very family-oriented restaurant.
Yeah.
I think everybody that comes here will agree to that. You know, it took a while. You know, it takes a while. I've never done this before, so when we opened up, we were overwhelmed with a lot of things,
and you adjusted and made changes to fit what your customers were looking for.
Correct. You know, like our menu, we started out, I think, with 10 items on it, and people were complaining, where's everything at? And it's because I wanted to do it slow, you know.
Sure.
Soft opening, I guess. It didn't work like that, but as we progressed in time and stuff with the restaurant, we started adding things, and people would tell us what they liked and what they didn't like.
Well, that's great.
You know? And that made a difference for us.
It does,
So.
and then you can really focus in on what they're looking for, and then you continue to get new patrons. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And I know I've come in here, Chuck, with lots of family activity. And if I'm meeting, a group of adults in the bar area, it's nice that the kids are here, and I see we'll walk back, but you've got some games, I guess, too. Let's take a look at that.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you remember Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And Galaga. I mean, those are games from back in the 80s, you know.
Yep.
Not that I want
cool.
to relive those days, but that's.
It's always good to have a little entertainment. It reminds me a little bit of Buffo's.
Sure,
you always
absolutely.
It's great to have a place like that here in Lake Forest. And I know we'll talk more about your menu and food, but I hear the pizza's really good too.
It's pretty good. That's what I hear. I eat about 2 or 3 a week.
And it's great to know too, Chuck. You've got like high chairs and things for the little kids, and that it really is a family place. Let's talk about the things over here on this wall.
Okay. I got some. Back to my buddies from Chicago Fire Department. That's one of his coats. That's a 3/4 length coat. They used to back in Chicago just changed a year and a half ago, where they used to have 3/4 boots and coats.
Okay.
Nowadays, NFPA requires that you have full protective gear. So Chicago had to change their style of what they wore, and that was just his old coat. And he wore that to the day they retired that a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like it's seen a lot of
They
action.
see a lot down there. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that 122, the house that 122 is at, I think they average 100 working structure fires a year.
Wow.
It's the south side, so it's a very old
Yeah.
part of the city and stuff, and that's why it burns like it does. This is from Captain LaRussa on Waukegan Fire Department. He's a friend of mine. He's up there. Again, Waukegan, they see a lot of action also. I'm sure you hear about that.
Is that another air pack?
That's
there?
an old air pack from the that's from the early 70s, late 60s. The old steel tank. It was called an officer's pack. He would get off the engine with the officer pack, and he'd go in right away. The officer would usually just go in. Nowadays, you have to go in with 2 to 4 guys. You can't just run in by yourself and stuff. Yeah, it's a dangerous
and
job
how
still. Nothing's changed about that. It's actually gotten worse.
I can believe, and certainly it's that's why they're such heroes in here, not only in our community but in the United States. Tell me about this painting here.
This is an actual painting after 9/11. Well, not after. During 9/11, there was an actual firefighter, a New York firefighter, sitting at the Twin Towers with his hands cupped over his face, and he was crying.
Yeah.
And obviously,
A lot of destruction.
yeah, what happened there and all that definitely happened. And somebody took that picture of him and put it painted angels along it. They set it all over the internet. It was a beautiful picture, and it always amazed me. So this is why we had that done.
Neat.
And Patty and Sam did that, and they did a
Oh,
wonderful
did they?
job.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So another more local artist
Yeah,
here.
it was a surprise to me, actually. They did it as just,
Very neat.
yeah, it was a gift.
Very cool.
The pictures on the wall are pictures of my family, my best friends, obviously.
In action.
My daughter, she's a paramedic out in Lake Villa. My son.
Very
and some of
cool.
my best friends who are on Lake Forest Fire and Knollwood Fire and Lake Bluff Fire also. So.
Great. So Chuck, tell me, one of the masterpieces here in your bar and restaurant is this beautiful bar. Tell me about the history here and how you got such a piece.
Actually, a business associate of mine called me, heard I was building the bar, and he called me up and said, hey, I think I might have something you want. And it was up at 20 and 94, going towards Milwaukee.
Okay.
On the right-hand side of 94 there, east side of 94, there's an old building at 2094 with a big peak in the middle of it. It used to be called Vance's. Vance's. It was a country western bar. It was real popular back in the 60s and 70s. And he said he had this for sale. When we went up there, we saw it. We bought it on the spot. The cool thing that I like about this is that it's a Brunswick bar. Brunswick is headquartered here in Lake Forest, so it was a nice match. And I've had several, probably most of the employees from Brunswick have come here at one time or another and checked it out. The CFO over there, I believe, I don't remember, Dusty, I think his name is. He came in and we talked about the bar. And Brunswick went and did some research on it for me and stuff. And it's worth its weight in gold, obviously. We had been told from the owner who I got it from in Racine that it was it originated around 1903, 1907.
Wow.
Out of Rapid City, South Dakota. So, and it's the most talked about piece whenever people come in here. Everybody wants to know where it came from and stuff like that.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And how about all the fire helmets up at the top?
These are fire helmets from when I started as a fireman. My brothers are both firefighters, and so they gave me equipment to put up here. And these are basically, 6 of those are mine through the years that I've done this. So you got some Chiefs helmets, and a lot of my friends. The black ones up here, Engine 24, Truck 29. Lake Forest Fire, I got a Lake Forest Fire helmet up there. All the guys signed it for me and stuff.
Oh, that's really neat. Chuck, too, it's a family history for you, and there's a lot of tradition that you mentioned that you've brought back here, which I really think makes this place very homey and very comfortable versus just, it's not like any other sports bar.
No, absolutely.
I mean, it is a beautiful place. Now, I'd love for you to tell me more about kind of the bar and what you offer. I know you've got specials going on during the week. Maybe we can hit on a couple of those so residents can come out and
they
try
ask
things.
too, believe it or not, even in Lake Forest or North Shore, they ask, what do you got on special today? What do you have and stuff like that? And we always have liquor specials or our beer specials, calls, rails, and we always have something going on. And usually what we do is there's a sign up here. We change this about once a month.
Okay.
The daily specials, and that's we have Mondays. You got rail nights, and we take our alcohol and we reduce it to 20% usually or something like that. And then Tuesdays, $2 Tuesdays. We do that more for the college kids.
Okay.
Because they're on a hard.
Yeah.
So, and then we got flip night. That's when you come in and you flip a quarter and you call your drink and the bartender flips a quarter. You call it. If you win, you get 20 or 25% off.
Okay.
And it's more about a game than anything.
Yeah,
it's the
but
fun
it's
thing.
fun. It's a little entertainment.
Yeah. So.
And how's your staff at flipping quarters?
Yeah, they're about as good as me. So
They're getting better every day.
But you want to show us, Brittany? Could you do that? No. But it's pretty funny to watch. I mean, everybody gets a big kick out of it and stuff. And we got a couple quarters up in the top of the bar there. We don't know how they got there, but they tend to get them up that high also.
And you've got a great selection of...
We got roughly 50, 55 selections of beers, including our taps.
Pretty well stocked between your vodkas and your whiskeys.
Oh, absolutely. We got like
rums
8 or 9 different vodkas, brands, different flavors and stuff like that. Everybody's big on flavors now as far as vodkas.
A lot of mixed drinks you probably serve.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Great. And you've got a lot of TVs around, so you probably have a lot of the sporting events up.
Always have the sporting events out. It's all about the Midwest. It's all about Chicago, okay? So everything we do here revolves around Chicago. And then we spread out from there. You go to Wisconsin or Indiana, the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that, but that's what we do.
You get a few fans.
Yeah, exactly. So we try to accommodate, but usually it's just, sometimes it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your menu too, Chuck. In terms of food items that you offer, do you have a kids menu?
Rick, can you hand me a menu, please? Let's see here. Oops.
So kids
There it is,
menus
kid
on the
menus
back.
yeah.
So you've got a lot of the basic
It's
stuff.
basic stuff.
Great.
They like the
Make
burgers.
things
Obviously,
happy.
the grilled cheese is huge.
Okay.
And the mac and cheese. I was surprised at how much we sell.
Wow,
The
okay.
amounts we sell, actually.
And you've
So-
got a pretty big selection of appetizers, salads, sandwiches, more main entrees, burgers, wraps, a little bit of everything. There's just some healthier items
It's pub
here.
food, yeah. We
Pub
have
food.
great salads. Everybody loves our salads.
You can get it
That's what we hear
chopped.
about.
And pizza.
Cobb salad, the taco salads. People love this. And I've never heard anybody complain about leaving here hungry. So that's kind of the cool
Good.
thing.
So tell me what we have here.
This is what this is our 311 burger. It's named after 311 in Chicago, which is a huge fire.
Okay.
You know, they're hot, they're smoky, and
Yeah.
So we came up with our own spicy burger, and it's a half-pound burger
Okay.
with pepper jack cheese, cayenne pepper, and you got the giardiniera on the side, and obviously lettuce and tomato and pickle, and our French fries. Those are seasoned fries also.
I love the crinkle cut.
Oh, me too.
Those are the best.
Yeah, and I got that from a restaurant up in Waukegan. I had them up there before we opened up, and I liked them a lot, and this is what we've had ever since. So.
Very cool. And this is one of your traditional pizzas?
This is a pepperoni pizza. Everybody loves pepperoni.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
Green peppers. The pepperoni is spicy. Not real spicy, but spicy enough. We add the green peppers to it, and green peppers give it that sweet flavor.
Sweetness, yeah.
And we got some other ingredients we put on there that makes our recipe of our pizza very, very good. So,
And I love it's nice and, I'm just going to hold this up,
Yeah.
but here, nice, really like thin and crispy crust too.
Yeah, New York style.
Okay.
I've had some people in from New York. They didn't agree with it, but that's what we call it, a New York style pizza. Because I like the thin crust also myself, and we're looking hopefully by spring we're going to add a deep dish pizza
cool.
to our menu too. So
Great. So
we'll see.
lots of new things coming at Chief's Pub.
Yeah, new menu changes in a few weeks, and adding pasta, some more dinner items.
Great.
Well, you're not gonna see a big change, but just a few
But
more
a
items.
few more special type things that you're expanding the menu. Well, these look delicious, and obviously it's a tribute because you're packed every Friday night here.
Yeah, absolutely. So
great.
okay, all right.
Chuck, the defibrillator is something you don't see in a lot of private places, restaurants, bars, but you see it at health clubs, schools, and things like that. Tell me what drove you to bring something like that
I
in.
guess being a fireman, number one.
Okay.
We're visited by a lot of firemen and paramedics also.
Yeah.
I mean, check out the theme, Firehouse Pub. I'd be
Yeah.
crazy not to have one.
Yeah.
We've had a few choking incidents in here already. I think 3,
Okay.
maybe 4 already, where we've had to actually do the Heimlich maneuver.
Okay.
So it was just, let's get it.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
expensive, but I think it's worth it in the long run. If something were to happen, we could.
Well,
we could do our job.
it's definitely a very safe place to be here if anyone had any concern about that, definitely. And you were mentioning to me that your staff and a lot of your staff is trained in
50% of our staff is trained in CPR
Great.
and how to work the
defibrillator.
AED. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, that's great to know. Thanks for showing us
Yeah.
that. Now, Chuck, tell me too. I know you've got a Facebook page. What is it under? Is it
under Chief's Pub.
Chief's Pub, so people can find you and become a fan of your page, and probably.
we put specials on there and stuff like
great.
that. We've talked about doing our own website and stuff, but we find now Facebook is just a hot thing to be set up. All businesses are doing this now.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurant owners that I know, we
Like
talk about
Inside
it.
Lake Forest is on it.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's easy, it's inexpensive, and people pay attention to it. They check it out. So
Yeah.
and we do specials on there, like I said. And
Fantastic. So people who are watching the show can go online and become a fan. And how about, Chuck, what are your hours here during the week?
11 a.m. every day till
Okay.
1 a.m. Monday through Saturday. Sunday nights we close at 11.
Okay. And so you're open for lunch and dinner service. And how late is your kitchen open till?
During the weekdays, 10 o'clock, and on Friday and Saturday nights, it's 11.
Okay.
And we're, again, back to 11 o'clock. We're huge with the high school as far as the parents coming in with their kids to eat afterwards.
After games
Football
and
games,
things.
basketball games. It's been a big success.
Great. Well, I saw
for
the
us.
Scouts flag too
Yeah,
hanging
gotta
up,
have
so
that.
it's nice
We're
to
Lake
be in
Forest,
here.
you gotta have that.
And two, I think it's great to point out, Chuck, that you also are available for carry out. So if people just want to get some of your great food, they can just pop in or call ahead and get that. What is your phone number so they can
It's
call ahead?
847-234-3444. It's
Perfect.
pretty easy to remember.
Yeah,
so.
it is.
We do a large amount of carry out also. So.
And probably for lunch too, maybe with a lot of the business crowd too.
Sure.
Great.
Sure, absolutely. So.
Excellent. Do you change your menu at all a lot, Chuck? Is it
It changes
seasonal
on
items
the average
and things?
once a year.
Okay. Well, Chuck, it has been such a pleasure visiting with you today.
Thanks, Eileen.
I've loved to have the opportunity to come through and view all these fantastic memorabilia and really a lot of history, not only that you've had, but a lot with your family as well. And I think the true theme of Firehouse Pub has certainly been a nice addition to the Lake Forest community.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching Inside Lake Forest. As you know, today we've been visiting at Chief's Pub next door to Egg Harbor, just south on Western Avenue from CVS. And as they say here at Chief's Pub, when bad is at its worst, we are at our best.